4 years ago, a report on the consequences of the breakdown of Aboriginal society revealed serious, widespread child abuse in remote and regional communities in the Northern Territory. The Howard government's response was unprecedented. Some argued draconian, but since then it's largely been embraced by Labor. It's still controversial, and we've come to the Territory to get a sense of whether the people it's aimed at helping think it's working.
A lot of kangaroos have been around here, look. Yeah, all fresh. Yep, fresh.
Talking about the Commonwealth's dramatic intervention into the Aboriginal communities of the Northern Territory divides families, even 4 years on.
Well, I've got family who are on income management, and those family really support the basic cards, and I've got family who are against income management as well.
But there is one point of agreement. Something had to be done.
Through alcohol misuse, that there was a lot of neglect around the children.
Oh, yes, it had to be done, but not enough has been done.
We just couldn't let the status quo continue, but I always argue that what happened was wrong.
It was necessary for things like this. You can see new houses going up, and schooling was a good thing.
In June 2007, the Little Children Are Sacred report shone a light on the profound consequences of the breakdown of Aboriginal society. Most chilling of all was that child abuse was serious, widespread and often unreported. In the shadows of an election, the Howard government's response was swift and uncompromising.
It is interventionist. It does push aside the role of the Territory to some degree. I accept that, but what matters more? The constitutional niceties or the care and protection of young children.
Widespread alcohol restrictions were enforced. There were medical examinations for children under 16. School attendance was linked to family payments, and government business managers were imposed. The Commonwealth moved to take control of townships through changes to the Land Act. Police numbers were increased, and most controversial of all, half of welfare payments were quarantined for buying food and other essentials.
There's more food on the table, more children being better fed because of income management.
Of all the criticisms of the intervention, three things stand out: that there was no consultation, that income management is a blunt instrument, and that the Racial Discrimination Act had to be suspended.
Given that one group of people was going to be treated differently to another group, it was always going to be racially discriminatory.
For every critic, there's a supporter. Betty Pearce is one of the traditional landowners who holds native title over Alice Springs. She and her friend Maureen Abbott have agreed to disagree.
Well, when I see my little nieces and nephews and grannies and that all out there in the communities and that, yes, they're looking healthy, they're fed, they're able to go to Kmart or go to any shop and be able to buy toys and, things that they couldn't afford to do before.
To me, it was wrong because it's taking away the responsibility from the people.
For some, the reviews are mixed.
A lot of people say there's been a lot of improvements, and to me, with my own eyes, it took away a lot of things, a lot of important things in our communities.
Labor has softened the intervention, but the minister is still committed to one of its core ideas.
The sorts of things that women say to me, and many men as well, I must say, is that they certainly like income management. They like the fact that they've got better control over their money.
Betty Pearce sees income management and land acquisition as deepening the culture of dependency.
Once you have that missionary mentality pushed onto you, the pride is taken away. There's no pride left. So what can you do?
And though the intervention no longer bypasses the Racial Discrimination Act, Mick Gooder still sees problems.
There are still elements of it that are discriminatory, for instance, the compulsory acquisition of land.
A highly publicised rise in alcohol-fuelled violence and property crime in Alice Springs earlier this year sparked a backlash from the business community and a call for the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition to visit together. But though the intervention has bipartisan support, a joint visit was never likely in the poisonous political climate of the moment. Opposition leader Tony Abbott will arrive tonight. Braden Williams was one of the community leaders who issued the invitation.
Stop alcohol. That's what. Because if we stop alcohol, we'll have a lot of people going back to the community, and working again. everyone will work. Fathers and mothers will work, support their little family, growing family. They'll take their kids to school. They'll work very, very hard to make their future strong.
But alcohol abuse is only the most visible symptom of a soul-deep sickness that stretches back to settlement, one that has defied the best-intentioned cures. And part of the problem in fashioning a consensus solution lies in the fractured and toxic Aboriginal politics.
We've got lots of different nations of people in the centre with different laws, different attitudes and different ways of looking at life.
The intervention times out next year, and Jenny Macklin believes a second effort is needed.
We've got thousands of children not even enrolled to go to school, thousands of children not attending school on a regular basis, and of course their literacy and numeracy results are way, way behind. So if there was one area that I would like to add to what was part of the original intervention, it really would be a much stronger focus on education.
Yes, there has to be a continuation of effort, but it has to be done with the involvement of Indigenous people.
There are concerns that the Commonwealth's interest and money will wane.
Well, that's one of the biggest challenges for the Northern Territory and federal government after June 2012 is, in fact, determining what resources are going to continue in the Northern Territory.
What we leave behind is going to be the big test of how successful it's been.
This story's been played out in so many different ways over so many generations that it often looks hopeless from the outside. But that's not what Betty Pearce sees when asked if she's optimistic.
Oh, yes. While there's life, there's a way.